Mohammed, you can start whenever you are ready. Can you hear me?
So you guys can hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Salman. I'm from Beijing University of Technology doing postdoc there, and today I'm going to present my presentation for this conference. And the title of my presentation is an efficient mechanism for mitigating the impact of gray hole attack in mobile ad hoc networks. So these are the contents that I'm going to follow. So first of all, what is mobile ad hoc network? A mobile ad hoc network is also called as wireless ad hoc network, which is a self-configurable and self-adjustable network. It consists of a set of mobile nodes which communicate wirelessly without any fixed infrastructure. The nodes of mobile ad hoc network possess a high mobility because the topology of this network changes very frequently. These kind of networks are very much favorable in some situations like disasters and military operation, because the deployment of this kind of network is very easy as compared to the infrastructure network. So as we have seen the usage of mobile ad hoc network in almost every field of life, so there is a high demand of reliable communication by the users of mobile ad hoc network. In order to achieve the reliable communication by mobile ad hoc network, we have to consider two things during the protocol design for mobile ad hoc network, which is security and quality of service. By default, the design of mobile ad hoc network is not very secure because it doesn't have any fixed infrastructure or boundaries. Any node can join the network in any time. Say suppose any malicious node can join the node at any time and deploy the malicious attack like denial of service attack, which can degrade the performance of the network. And quality of service is also another aspect, because the users of mobile ad hoc network wanted communication with very low end-to-end delay and very high packet delivery ratio. So in this regard, our research objectives were to design a protocol which should be simple enough and secure enough also. Why simple? Because we have excluded the use of some complex mathematical equations like cryptographic solutions to provide security, and we have also reduced, or we have also excluded the use of extra IDS, intrusion detection systems, in order to lower the end-to-end delay during the communication, and also the routing overhead because of the extra devices used for the detection purposes. So we have developed a protocol named as MIGM, mitigating the impact of gray hole attack in mobile ad hoc network. So in this research, we are detecting the gray hole attack in the communication process of mobile ad hoc network. So first of all, let me give you an overview of how the mobile ad hoc network communicate. There are two steps. First of all, the route discovery process and the data transmission process. In route discovery process, whenever a source node wanted to send the data packets towards the destination node, it first sends or broadcasts the root request packets in the network. The root request packet contains the address of the destination node. So whenever a node gets a normal node in the network gets the root request packet, first it checks its routing table. If it has a destination route towards the destination node, it replies back the source node with the root reply packet and root reply packet. And after getting the root reply packet, the data transmission starts, because that node is selected in the active route from source towards the destination. The selection of a node heavily depends upon the destination sequence number of a node. Whenever a source node gets a root reply packet, it first checks the destination sequence number of a root reply packet. If a destination sequence number is high enough as compared to any other node, the source node thinks that a particular node has a very fresh and close route towards the destination. Then it is selected. So taking the advantage of this thing, the malicious node always replies with a very high and fabricated destination sequence number. So the gray hole attack is an advanced version of black hole node. First of all, what black hole node does, whenever it gets the root request packet from the source node, regardless of checking its routing table, it sends back the reply packet with a very high destination sequence number. And getting and detecting the black hole node is easy because the security designers know that the black hole node will always reply with a very fabricated high destination sequence number. But detecting the gray hole node is not very easy because sometimes it replies the root reply packet with a very high destination sequence number, but sometimes it replies with a nominal destination sequence number in order to win the trust of source node. So in this regard, we have provided a dual security in mobile ad hoc network communication during the root discovery process and the data transmission phase also, so that if a gray hole node is not detected during the first phase, it can be detected in the second phase also. So during the first phase, during the root discovery process, what we are doing, whenever a source node is getting the root reply packets from many nodes, because this packet is broadcasted in the network, and many nodes in the network have the route towards the destination node, so they reply the source node with root reply packets. So all the data packet, all the root reply packets are gathered by the source node, and all the destination sequence numbers are then saved in a destination sequence number table by a source node. Then the average of the destination sequence number are calculated by the source node. After the average, then the standard deviation are calculated. As we all know that standard deviation is always lower than the average. If the average distribution is abnormal, the standard deviation is higher than the average. So in this way, if the source node senses that if the standard deviation is higher than the average, then there is some kind of node, there's some kind of malicious node in the network which has sent a destination sequence number which is very higher than other destination sequence number, and which has made the average abnormal. So this abnormal standard deviation is considered as a threshold, and that threshold is then compared with the all destination sequence number which are added in the destination sequence number table. If any destination sequence number is higher than the threshold, then the identity of that node is saved in an alert packet, and then it is broadcasted in the network so that all the nodes, all the normal nodes, can know the identity of the malicious node. So in the future, in the future, no any packets are entertained by that malicious node by other normal node. So this is the algorithm that we are using, and during the root discovery process in order to detect the gray hole node. So say suppose that a gray hole node is intelligent enough to bait the source node or to bait the first security system of the scheme, and it is sending a destination sequence number which is not very high or not very fabricated, and the average is not abnormal. So it can win the trust of the source node, and it can by default selected in an active route from source towards destination to send the data packet. Then ultimately it can further drop all the data packets that it will get. So what we are doing during the data transmission phase, whenever the source node are transmitting the data packets from one end to another end, all the selected nodes of a path are converted in a promiscuous mode. What is the promiscuous mode? In promiscuous mode, every node can sense the communication of neighboring node. Means if a node can sense the number of data packets collected, the number of data packets means received, number of data packets forwarded, and number of data packets dropped by a neighboring node. So during this process, there are some interval breaks, and in that breaks, the calculation is made. If a node is dropping the packets more than a threshold, we have set a threshold 4%. So if a node is dropping the data packets more than 4%, then it is considered as a gray hole node, and then again an alert packet is transmitted in the network containing the ID of that node in the network, so that the node is again isolated in the network, and the whole process is repeated again because the gray hole was detected in the network. So this is the process that we are doing during the data transmission phase to detect the gray hole node. So we have also performed the simulation of our protocol, and we have compared the performance of our protocol with 3 other security protocols under the presence of attacking node, that is gray hole node. We have increased the number of the gray hole nodes in the network, and then we have judged the performance of our protocol as compared with other 3 protocols, that is AODV, FCS, and SNBDS. As we can see, as the number of malicious nodes are increasing, the number of packet delivery ratio is also decreasing, but our packet delivery ratio is not decreasing as much as the other 3 are decreasing, as well as the normalized routing overhead of our protocol is also very low, because there are very few link breakages during because of gray hole attacks. And during the link breakages, if an attack is detected, there are control packets. There are a lot of control packets which are transmitted or which are broadcasted in the network by the normal node, such as root error packets, which can increase the routing overhead in the network. But as our scheme provides dual security features, that's why there is a less normalized routing overhead in the presence of our technique. And the end-to-end delay, in terms of end-to-end delay, the performance of our protocol is not very good as compared to S and BTS, because we are checking, we are doing a two-way, we are giving dual security feature, which is trying to detect gray hole attacks during the first phase, that is root discovery, and in second phase also during the data transmission. So there is a little average end-to-end delay, but not very worse. And average throughput is also very good, because the data packets are transmitted from one end to another end securely, and in a good manner, or in good ratio also. So in the conclusion, I would say that detecting gray hole attack is a bit difficult, because it is an intelligent one. It doesn't always send the destination sequence number, fabricated destination sequence number doesn't always send a very high destination sequence number. So there should be a dual security feature in the mobile ad hoc networks, which can detect the gray hole attack in the root discovery process and the data transmission phase also. And we have performed it, and there is a very few works that are doing this dual security feature, and we have performed our simulations very successfully. And in future works, we will try to apply our technique on some other different attacks, like jellyfish attack, and and we will also try to use the usage of machine learning techniques also to detect the behavior of different attacks in the mobile ad hoc network, so that we can detect them before it happens. Thank you. I hope so. I have not taken enough time. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation. So we would first like to see whether there are some questions from the audience. I guess during the audience preparing their questions, I actually would like you to first answer a clarification question. So to be honest, I'm not very familiar with the term MANET. So because now for your work that you're investigating the gray hole attack in MANET, so could you further introduce about this particular type of network, and specifically could you try to compare it with not compare actually, so can this MANET be related to IoT in certain ways? Or I would like to hear from you.
Yeah, this can be compared with IoT. Actually, the MANET is we are using like mobile phones, or we are using conferences where we don't use any kind of infrastructure. We don't use wires, or we don't use any pre-planned structures that we deploy, and then a network is set up. It's a kind of network which is just developed, and the nodes are randomly moving. And because the nodes have mobility, that's why it is called as mobile ad hoc network. Why it is called mobile ad hoc network? Because the nodes have mobility, they are moving, they have randomness in their positions, and it is also ad hoc. It doesn't have any fixed infrastructure. It is ad hoc, so it can be created anytime, and depends upon the designers or developers that how they are developing and what kind of area they are using. So this is mobile ad hoc network.
Okay, I see. So actually that exactly answer my questions. So in other words, this kind of attack would be so from my personal perspective, so that would be very common in practice, right?
Yeah, it is very common in practice.
Okay. Yeah. So because you know, I mean, for this workshop, so we're talking about the next generation of information system, and for sure, we have emphasized on the IoT system. Uh, so that's why I would like to have your perspective on. Have you ever know? I mean, the work and that exclusively investigating what you call the algorithm attack on IoT system, or are there some similar attacks?
Like if what I'm saying, that if there is a transmission, like if you are sending, if in an ad hoc network, you have to use some relay nodes. What do you know? What you mean by relay nodes? That there should be some kind of nodes on which, through the help of those nodes, you are selecting those nodes, and you are sending message from one node to another node. As I'm saying that this structure, this mobile ad hoc network doesn't have any structure. They are randomly moving any node. Like I'm like saying like, okay, this transmitter, using this transmitter, and then again that transmitter I will send to my message to a particular destination. But do I have some kind of reliability that a particular transmitter is not malicious? Because in mobile ad hoc networks, any node can join the network. Like any node can join the network because it doesn't have a fixed boundary. So this kind of attack can come at any time. And the main focus, the main theme of this attack is dropping the packets, because it is a DOS attack, denial of service attack. So whenever it gets the data packets, it drops the packets, and it can come and it can join the network at any time, because mobile ad hoc network doesn't have any fixed boundaries.
Okay, I see. Okay, thank you very much for the detailed explanation. Thanks. So let me check again whether there are some questions from our audience. Okay, so if no further questions, maybe some questions may go offline afterwards. So let me just thank you again, and we will move to the next talk.